We have a reading here at Vox.com, a story written by Elisa Wilkinson. It's called It Challenged My Ideas About Religion, Penny Lane on her new movie about Satanists. Subtitle, What the Director of Hail Satan Learned from Making a Documentary on the Satanic Temple. And the author begins, a documentary called Hail Satan seems aimed squarely at provocation, which is fitting. Filmmaker Penny Lane likes to provoke audiences a little. Last year she made a movie called The Pain of Others, cut together entirely from YouTube footage, uploaded by those who believe they have Morgellons disease. In her 2016 film, Nuts, she presents a semi-animated documentary about an eccentric radio magnate named John Romulus Brinkley, who during the Depression built an empire by claiming to cure impotence with goat testicles. Lane's films are always funny and weird and always pushing it the way we think about truth. Her latest is Hail Satan, a portrait of the Satanic Temple, a Satanist organization that frequently advocates for total secularism in the public square. For instance, by trying to install a statue of Baphomet onto courthouse grounds in Little Rock to provide a, quote, alternative, end quote, to the dominance of other religions, signaled by a prominent display of the Ten Commandments. The film tracks with members and leaders, exploring the rise of the organization and its activism, or, depending on your perspective, trolling, in Arkansas and other parts of the country. The movie plays like a comedy, not least because the organization is purposely cheeky about what it does. They call themselves Satanists, not because they worship the devil. They don't believe in the existence of a being called Satan, but because they hold to a set of tenets that emphasize overturning theocracies and traditional hierarchies, including and maybe especially any that privilege Christianity. And they emphasize the autonomy of the individual. For Satanists, Satan is a symbol of ultimate human freedom. But in a world still heavily influenced by conceptions of Satan drawn both from Christianity and pop culture, and which experiences the lingering effects of the satanic panic, saying you are a Satanist is a deliberately provocative move. And that's what the movie Hail Satan unpacks. Why people join the Satanic Temple, what they're looking for, and whether it really is a religion, or if it's actually a political movement, or is it just a band of trolls? The film debuted in January at Sundance. There it was the subject of plenty of chatter among festival goers. Now it's opening in theaters. I sat down with Lane in New York a couple weeks ahead of the film's theatrical debut to talk about why she made it. This is quite a project. How did you end up making the film? Penny Lane. By the time I heard of them, the Satanic Temple had gone from being kind of a joke to being a real thing. I thought that was pretty cool. The notion of a religious movement being born out of a joke seemed like a groovy story and not one I'd heard before. I started by asking, are they serious or are they kidding? And realizing that the answer was yes and yes was just really fun. If the answer had been only yes to one of them, I probably would not have been interested. I loved the idea of watching a new religion get born right before our eyes, and how goofy and weird that looks, especially if you're not part of it. They're literally doing rituals with things they're getting from the Halloween store, which I think even they would acknowledge is goofy. But it's especially goofy if you're on the outside looking in, and you have no idea what the personal meaning would be for them.